Welcome everyone. It's 12:36 on the clock, which is the 12 of the Hanging Man, the 36 of Atlas, the 10 of Wands. But it's also coming up as 1, 2, 3, 6, the 1, 2, 3 leap to 6, which is love and the lovers, love, family, and community. It's the spiral as well. So leaping into that spiral of love. Really important energies today. Of course, it's Lionsgate 8-8, which notice that 8-8 represents the twin flames dancing between the masculine and feminine together side by side. Also represents the chromosome in the X. It's 2 8s crossed. So don't be put into fear by the X of Twitter and the negative energy around Elon Musk. You can watch Sam the Illusionist. He did channel a message about the walk-in for Elon Musk, and then he does have a contract with Mars to collect information through Twitter. And as you know, if you've been on Twitter, you know how negative the energy is. All you ever see is sex stuff and children who are emaciated. There's some very negative energies there, but send love to it. The negative energies don't like love around them. So send that love light wherever you'd like it to go. As we go ahead and take a few deep breaths, I invite you to send your love light wherever it needs transmutation. And Mars came up in this week in my reads as a notable place to send love to. So again, sending love, give the earth a big hug, right? Give Mars a big hug, the moon and the sun, Venus, Jupiter, any energy, whether it's just a specific person that you want to send love to. Let's go ahead and take a few moments here on Lionsgate 8-8 today to fill your heart. So pull in that love light energy, wrap it around your heart, and then send that love out wherever you'd like it to go. Let's go ahead and take a few deep breaths. Let's take another deep breath. And one more deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings out to all of you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have 2 of my messages of the day and the twin flame read on the table. We're going to roll a die. We'll pull oracle cards. Let me just put my little bowl back here. And let's pull a quick Fortune's Oracle card for you guys. August 8th, 2023. And today is the 23. It adds up to 23 along with the 8 of 8-8-23. 23 is the King of Wands. The 8 is the Strength card. So again, this year, 2023, is the wake-up call for the King of Wands to bring his passions into balance. Please check out my Instagram posts for today. There's a post for Lionsgate, the Strength card, as well as a Crystal Angels message. So please check them out. So from Fortune's Oracle here. And that just fell on the floor. Beware of the lizard here. Be careful who you trust at this time. But also remember, you got to have faith, which is the message that came up today with George Michael's. 3 is the Empress. It's Mother Nature. It is abundance. It is the 3 of coming together. the happy-go-lucky smile, the siblings coming together, anything coming together, socializing. It's the energy of the eagle flying, soaring horizontally. But again, brings up the energies of camouflage and shapeshifters, and to not go into fear, right? This is Mother Nature here, right? She shifts all the time. It's staying in your knowing, in that high vibration where love protects you. That is your shield, and Mother Nature as well. So again, just be in your intuition, which was one of the messages as well. Have faith in your own knowing. You don't need to be in fear. Okay? You have the unity of the energetic exchange here. 34 came up in another way. I can't remember where it came from. But 34 is that 8 of Wands, that back and forth energy, the arrows of love. There's hand holding here, hand fasting energy there, a time of divine understanding, renewal, peace, and hope. You radiate and attract great love. So Mother Nature, right, in exchange with us, back and forth constantly. And then we have the 34 of the 3 and 4, which equals 7, which is the Chariot. It's also the boomerang.
What note do you want?
The one I usually get in the carton. I'm sorry, my daughter's going to the grocery store. Just the one, I think it's light green. It's the Whole Foods brand.
It's in the freezer section? Or like the fridge section?
No, the milk. Yeah, the regular milk. You say just as long as it's organic, hon. Okay, we have the 7 of the gamma ray, the boomerang, the pi energy of sharing. Thank you, sweetheart. So again, this accentuating the 3 here of Mother Nature, and then the 4, the 3, 4, 3, 4. Again, the odd, even of expanding, stretching, and then balancing again, like the heartbeat, the evening out, right? The experience, and then the evening out again. And again, the 7 of the cracker here, of positive energy that surrounds you. Love, joy, and good fortune await. So this beautiful explosion of the Chariot ascending on Mother Nature, on Earth. So it's like this energy of all of us together, hand in hand, rising to the sun of union. Open your heart to the enormous growth ahead, the beautiful sunflowers and the sun's rays. And then the bottom of the deck is the mountain. So there's this reference of the moon and the stars as well, resonating with all of this. Like saying, we're here too, we're with you. This one says, know that you're protected as you face challenges, but remain cautious. So there's the similar energy from that card going into this first card, but yet look at all of this positive energy here of the union energy. Look at the 3, 3, 4 to 7, and then the 3 again of the union with source energy backing it up, the 0. Okay, a beautiful energy there. Very powerful. All right, so let's get right into these reads. Again, I have 2 of my messages of the day. The first one here, okay, we have the Fortune's Oracle at the top, and then we have my combined Lenormand, Reverie, and Kipper decks. Then we have the Starseed Oracle deck, and then the Wild Unknown Guidebook, and then the Rider-Waite at the bottom there. Okay. For those of you not familiar, the left is the underlying energy. I usually pull 3 cards unless another comes out organically. Then the ones at the end also are cards that want to come out organically, and I use them for numerology and to finish the storyline for the message. Okay. So this first one was done on the 6th. The second one was done yesterday. The Fortune's Oracle was at 10-12, so 10, 12, 13, 17, 19, and 20 to 21 were the decks that were pulled. The 12 is the Hanging Man, 13 is the Death card or Transition, and there's that 1 and 3 again of the bird flying horizontally, the 17 of the Star, the 19 of the Sun, and then 20 to 21, which is the world and completion. That wake-up call to the world. We are the world, we are the children. That's coming up as well. It's been coming up all week. Before I forget too, I was just meditating before I started, and one of the messages that came up was all about the fire sign. So it's not just about the lion. It's the lion with the North Node in Aries, and the archer is the arch, the arc, the bridge that brings it all together, right? The go-between, which is Sagittarius. is the mutable energy. So we have the Lion, which is fixed, right? The Aries, which is the cardinal, it's leading the way. And then the Archer, which is the bridge, the Sagittarius energy. So all the fire signs are activated here today in a very profound way. Oh, I need to roll the die for you guys too. Lionsgate, 8/8/2023 for the twin flames. Okay, we have Mercury here, so there's that Gemini and Virgo energy of the mutable energies like Sagittarius and the Archer, so help from the mercurial energies. We have Aquarius here as well, the water bearer. And then we have the 9 of the Hermit, which is Virgo. It's also September, which is Virgo, into Libra, which is that midpoint of the cycle. So that balanced energy. So again, Virgo is here and here, along with Aquarius in the middle. But we also have Libra and Gemini here. So we have all 3 air signs, and Virgo is very profound here, kind of grounding either end in the age of Aquarius. And Aquarius is fixed as well across from Leo. So Aquarius is Leo's axis point. And Virgo is just after Leo. So those energies are coming up here as well. And the water, Aquarius is, this is the symbol of Aquarius, but water is coming up for me also right here. Actually, in one of the messages, it was all water, and that probably will come up in what I bring to you. All the water signs, I forget what sign they were with. I think it was with air. So there's a lot of energy. There's a lot coming up in the contrast between the water signs and the fire signs. And then here's the air of deliverance here with Aquarius and Mercury. All right, let's see where this goes. All right, so the numbers at the end of the decks, the piles, were coming up as 11121 and also 642828. So usually, you know, the initial cards will come out, but then other cards will come out, but they weren't connected to those cards, and that's where I'm getting 2 sets of numbers. The initial card and then the rest of the cards. So 11121 and then 642828. Remember, 28 is the 2 of Wands, the twin flame energy. And we have the World here as well with the 21. The 3 ones of co-creation. Remember, 3 ones is also their arcs. So the 2 parentheses around the 1 is the pi symbol, the circle with the line down the middle. So you see how they always come together as one. The co-creation of the world, divine feminine and divine masculine, 3 to 1. The lovers and the 2 of cups side by side here in the dance of the twin flames, 8/8. The alignment 1 to 1, that the twin dance of the chromosome, the bliss of the 2 twin flames, or 28/28. The justice of the hanging man, by the way, never mind about that. All right, so justice of the hanging man, the sudden event of the 2 of cups, 8/8 for twins, or sudden lambda, or lambda father leap, 28/28. At 10:38, I started processing the message, the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune, the 38 of the Queen of Cups. That's, for me, that's water, and then the Wheel of Fortune for me is Libra. The underlying energy here is 14 of Judgment, 11 of Sudden Wealth, the 64 of the Temple of Centering, the Elk, which also can represent the Moose. So of the Elk and the Moose, the Elk are a group and the Moose are the 2. And the Knight of Cups is patience with balance and the open book test here. So I opened Elena Danon's book, A Gift from the Stars, which I've been using a lot the past couple weeks. Okay, this is her book. I opened her book to page 162 to 63, which was talking about the hundreds that are underground in shared facilities. There were 4 main Cabal underground headquarters on Terra at the time she wrote the book. So things have definitely changed and cleared. There's been a lot of stuff cleared off the planet. But the Dulce base was big. So under Dulce, the base of the coast of Bermuda Triangle, off the coast of Denmark, and off the coast of New Zealand. In USA, Dulce is the New Mexico residence of the Sikar Command, Naga officers, Dohu workforce, an outpost for Orion Alliance, Maitreyi, Maytrei, and the Kili, Kiily dash Tokurit, and then again their puppets, collaborating with Terra and the CIA in lower levels here, which are 90 to 100 miles southeast underground. The reptilian work caste, abusing and violating abducted Terrans, their dark cults, and some celebrities as puppets to dominate the humans. Duke is known as the biogenetic lab, cloning, cognition research, mind control, crossbreeding, both animal and human crossbreeding. Again, child experimentation, and this base was central to other bases. The largest is not far from there, TAOS. The first 3 levels are offices and labs. The 4th level, experiments on soul, dream manipulation, hypnosis and telepathy, and mind control. The 5th level, Elena describes as the abducted Terrans stored for food and body parts, thousands of cages waiting to be eaten. The 6th level was the nightmare room, genetic labs, and crossbreeding humans and animals. The 7th level of cryogenetic storage of thousands and thousands. Tao, or TAO, White Sands, Alamo Gordo, Datil and Pie Town, Carlsbad, Cavern and East Carlsbad, Angel Peak Spaceship Base, Los Alamos connects the Argarthan Web, dug by the prisoners in the 1940s, all with linked tunnels to Area 51, Colorado and Texas bases, Kirkland Medical Experiments, Manzano Air Force Base, Nagai Garrison's headquarters, and Spaceship Base. She specifies literally what they do. I'm not giving you all that here, just a little taste of what was in there. Pie Town, the Sandia Mountains came up. Specifically, just a couple points that I randomly pulled that I saw. Alaska Underground Spaceship Base in Arizona, Fort Huachuca, a main underground hangar for spaceships, Gates Pass, Gila Mountains, Santa Catalina Mountain, Grand Wash Cliffs, Green Valley and Hualapai, and Rincon Mountains, as well as Mount Lemmon, Page, Safford. In Arkansas, Hardy and Pine Bluff came up. Atlanta, the Forest Park, Maine, is a huge complex, plus other sites as well. Missouri, Twin Bridges came up. That popped out to me because I actually was guided to Twin Bridges in Missouri this year. Lebanon, Bat Caves, and St. Francis Mountains. In New Jersey, Picatinny Arsenal, Sikar Spaceport there, that's very deep. In Pennsylvania, of course, the Blue Ridge Summit, Fort Ritchie, and Raven Rock. West Virginia, Sugar Grove, White Sulphur Springs also came up. Again, lots of different sites in California, Idaho, Nevada, New York, and Virginia. And of course, DC, there's the House of the Temple. So the list goes on in other countries as well, but mainly listing a lot of stuff about the United States. So I also opened Trinosophia, which I've also shown you before. Okay, the Trinosophia, it's about alchemy and Saint Germain. And that opened to page 47, which was a picture, and then explaining that picture, 43. The altar of, again, this is opening up to the same area that I've read to you before, but I'm going to give you the information that came up specifically for today. The altar of 4 elements, the triangle, and the 2 sacred numbers, the square of the 4 and the triangle of the 3, which equals 7. Very interesting. That just came up in the cards. The 4 times 3 is the 12 of nature and the zodiac. The triangle arrangement of 4 elements and the zodiac of 4 elements times 3 states. The altar, the body of the square arranged in a triangle, the body being salt, the spiritual being sulfur, and the soul being the Mercury. And Mercury came up here. The crux arisata is the air above the altar, which is the copper, represents the metal of Venus, the reproductive energy of the soul. Venus being the light bearer, the star of self-knowledge. The power to multiply is common to internal and external man. It's the bodies to bodies. The soul is the archetypes of the personalities. The wisdom perpetuates itself by applying to its own peculiar purpose. The spiritual, and again, the messages that came out today on Instagram were about remembering to be true to yourself, right? You're supposed to be different from others. The spiritual generation, the mystery of Melchizedek, who is their own father and their own mother, and therefore is above the law, because they would never abuse that purpose. It sets forth the perpetual regeneration by use of the stone. 3 parts of man, the spirit, the soul, and the body, must be brought into equilibrium. The born crystal man, the homunculi, right, the perfect man, the immortality, the immortally generating ego, capable of precipitating personalities at will, and yet unchanged by their personalities. So again, being able to be all personalities, but not feeding into them, not changed by them, and not unlimited by them. So instead of the soul living in the body, it's the body living in the soul. The adept's physical form is an instrument to express their consciousness. The torch, the candle, the intelligence, which is the bird or the eagle, and the action, which is the burning altar and the lion, was coming up for me right now. So again, for me, the torch candle is coming up as the dragon, the bird is the eagle, of course, and then the action or burning altar as the lion of Lionsgate today. The Hierophant, remember in alchemy, is the master of the hidden house. And the keys of Thoth come up here. Remember, Thoth is TH with the human embodiment of source in the middle, to the nth degree of the human embodiment of source. So at 1123 is the alignment of the 23, which again is today, adds up to 23. The King of Wands is the fire sign, and it also is 2023 this year. And 11 is a form of a 2, which is 20 as well, the judgment energy. And judgment came up here. The book or the hook energy of the Holy Grail. The divine energy of intent. The word judgment. Only to be from the master of the hidden house. So, everyone always construes judgment as something negative. But when it comes from one of pure spirit, it's no longer negative, right? It's neutral, like our judges are supposed to be. Only to be from the master of the hidden house, to sit in judgment. One can only be above the law who would never succumb or be limited by it, being completely neutral without ego. Ego is only to be used to protect the body, right? Survival on this planet. It's that emergent energy, which doesn't happen really at 0 point, because you wouldn't pull in that energy, because you're at that neutrality energy. So it's being able to be the polarities, and yet if you're at 0 point, you never experience or pull those things in, because you allow both of them, and then it collapses to the middle. At 1127 is the alignment of the 27, which is that Ace of Wands, the flame, and Saint Germain coming up again with the violet flame right now. The alignment with the 27, which, as I've told you many times now this month, is the Queen's Gambit energy, which is the Vesica Pisces. Vesica is the water energy of the Pisces, the vortices coming together like the salt water underneath. The oceans have many vortices that whirl together underneath, creating energy. It also came up recently as the 2 seas with a strip of land between, where the strip of land between the fresh and the salt water then gains this special energy from being in that vortex between the waters. The angel of the 14 of patience and balance and flow, one step at a time, unrushed and kind, compassionate, aligns with the stars to make the tales come to life. The 11 of justice, truth, and balance and alignment, where the cards were coming up 11 to 14 being like 21 to 24, which then represents the masculine 1 to 4, and then the 21 to 24 is the 2 of the feminine, and then 1 to 4, which then represents the temperance card of the angels and that higher love again. But it's coming up as the masculine going from 11 to 14, from just and fair to 14 of compassionate and angelic, and then the 21 to 24 of the feminine from of being complete, the world coming full circle and whole, to 24, which represents enlightenment, but also the Pleiades and being unlimited. The divine masculines leap to source. The divine feminines leap to source, raised an octave. And notice octave is maybe 7 notes, but it's oct of 8 and avenue of path. The 8 path, which is beyond the 7. The 11777 then comes up of the full house, of hitting the jackpot. When the slot machine hits all 3 keys, it aligns and the lock opens, raining coins as the jackpot of gold on the other side of the rainbow. It's not until you're detached and yet not in resistance that you align with any given frequency of high vibration. 2 aces come up here and 3 sevens. So again, we have the 23 of the King of Wands. The 7s representing the boomerang, the gamma ray, the pi energy of being balanced, but in that moment just before the expansion, which is then the phi energy. 2 the aces are 1s, but the 3 is the bird flying horizontally, the soaring bird to the keys. 2 lines of the 11, but 3 sevens aligns, all right? So the 11 is coming up as the lines of alignment, but the 3 sevens is 37, by the way, of unconditional love and the 3 keys. But the 3 sevens is not just 2 lines, but aligning, the boomerangs, the 11 and 21 graduation, but then to rise an octave in pitch or frequency to get better at the dance, to be the H versus the 8, which is then up an octave, the lap dance versus the do-si-do of a bun dance or the butt dance, and then the guy dance of GUI, which is the mistletoe, or the spar, which is the mast or the pole, that which supports, and then the ghost. I'm just getting the Holy Ghost. That which hangs in limbo, and again, an unlimited dance, a butt dance or a ghost dance. The support that's unnoticed. So the sail is seen. The mistletoe isn't really noticed, but is there to remind you that nature is all above. Love is all above, with love, kisses, and hugs, the X and the O. Again, the X of the chromosome and the crazy eights dance together, and the O of source embodiment of the human. Not above Y, but why not? The mistletoe is miss the toe, mitos, mitosis, my to seize, me too, Pisces, to leap, share, bridge, arc, and whisper, using air. And that's interesting too, because that came up, that's the other thing I almost forgot. So the lion's lair of Lionsgate came up today, which is the L of the lambda or lambda father leap, and the air. So here we are on that bridge or that arc or that whispering bench using air. But water may be even better in sound resonance. Within the sound resonance is instant. In the plasma ethers, the fire breath and the emotional oily waters, like the portal, with bodily blood cells as the transportation, the holding cells, the nervous system coming up as the brain super mind, and the lymph system coming up as the lungs and heart super heart. So again, the energy of the brain and the super brain of the nervous system, and then the fiery breath, and then the lung heart unit as raising to the super heart, the high heart, and the lymph systems, the lymphatic systems, with the emotionally oily waters of the Stargate portal that you are. You call through the air, as on the telephone, outside yourself, but through the waters inside yourself, using the fire above and the earth below, in the bliss of the 64, reversed, is the centeredness, the solitude, the seclusion, grounding and belonging. The dragon's breath causes the eagle to fly, that inspiration, to dive in the water and then feed off the land. When you're aligned with fire, there is inspiration with breath and air. And remember, to be aspired to something is, as I told you before, to be inspired is to breathe. But to aspire is to desire to breathe. But desire can be an aspect of ego. So you see where there's a line to be drawn there, right? And the dance to be balanced. When you're aligned with fire and inspired through that pure inspiration of source, with the air of breath and the lion that then roars or emotes, longing to ground to the earth, the angel heart is squared in an open book. So when the heart is squared, it literally looks like an open book, from the 37 of unconditional love and the 3 keys of alchemy to the 4 and then the 6, 7, 8 of the heart spiraling to the boomerang into the circuit of the 8, which is a sealed circuit around and around, from the heart to the crown and beyond. The 3 soars, but the 4 lambda leaps to source, expanding through the 7, which is the key, and the 6, 7, 8 to lay them straight, aligning in the sweet spot, but even higher octave of 8 and the 8 path, the power within and out, the fiery elk of the pack, and then the moose that seeks 2 with proper fuel to get to the Knight of Cups, which is being love. The 23 this year, again, a learn of the King of Wands, learning to master his passions, to be able to receive and accept that love. The underlying energy of unity and hand fasting, the 34. The marriage of 20, unicorn 33, and judgment of 14 here. One with gratitude as the energetic exchange and arrows of love, the EE. Decide to marry unicorn because they can see their horn. Meaning they're in 5D plus because their horn can be seen, that you're in 5D because you can see it. The place you need to be to sit in neutral judgment. Hourglasses, or that hourglass of the infinity symbol in the middle, the part of us that's shared, is always greater than half full. That sweet spot of, again, 4 to 7, but now it's pulling it up even higher from 6 to 8. There's no attachment to marry, and yet there's no opposition to it either. So the marriage of the polarities is that coming to the center and that neutral 0 point energy. So at 12-12, which is the 2 hanging man or men hanging out together, or are they hung out to dry? But we have the 6D energy here coming up, right? Calling you to not just 3, 4, 5, but the 6th dimension, the eagle of the 9, which is the hermit, the one and the all, also Virgo energy, that soars above the mountains and the ranges with powers from a fairy tale and pixie dust. There's that plasma ether energy with plasma ether intention from the angel hermit, the 6th of the lover's Cinderella chariot, and 4 unicorns set to go, and all in one sparkling chariot, the 5D one, charred of the chariot, charred and branded IOT, I top dog through human chakra system. From the mercurial pages of that open book of the squared heart, the hermit delivers to chariots of fire, the 31 of thorns and the thorny crown, over the river and through the woods, to grand mother's house we go, from sea to shining sea, and the parent of the seas, the parentheses, the parenthesis, the SIS of the seas, on the land between the seas. So S and S is the sine waves with the strip of land between, as we just talked about, the vortices swirling and charging the land. The unnecessary, the suffering and silence of the SIS is unnecessary if you just get with the C's. The Christos Sophia of the C and the S, the whispering bench, the arc, bridge, and rainbow and leap, to see unity consciousness. Have faith in your truth. Again, George Michael's, because you gotta have faith, the faith, the faith. In your truth and the sine wave, boomerang style, as she'll be coming round the mountain when she comes at 12:21, as he tunnels his way through. The 30 of sunshine, the 17 of love, the 24 of patience in the union of light, with dreams of love come true, Omega, which is the Om, and the ego, which is feminine ego, the crowning of, and then the Pleiades of 24 as well, with patience to see your hourglass turn up and down like acceleration, like a fan, like the propeller inside the Crazy Eights dance. The hearts entwined and yet distinct. The 19 of luck, the 25 of the phoenix, the 28 of the snake, as the sun, the phoenix, and Hydra, and notice Hydra is the energy of hydro with connections, a water wheel for the sun and the dragon. The sine wave of the Holy Grail is the hourglass, turning one way and then back the other, but again that energy of both at the same time, or the perpetual turning both ways, and again the vortex. The lambda, or the L of luck, L-U-C-K, the lamb to father, you see, the U of the Holy Grail, the C is the Holy Communion of the whispering bench, the water and the air to the K energy, the 4 that becomes the K energy on the other side, right? 4, when you take that L, push it to the other side of the 1, becomes the K. And the lambda leap to the other side, where 4 becomes K, or that 1 is only less than the all, but all is not greater than 1. 3 fire signs here, one way, the other way, and the middle, Lion's Gate. A lining, or a lioning, or a lyraning, with the 8 and the 8 of the chromosome dance of the 24, the 2 4s, which again is 8, that third 8, that third octave, which then pulls the 2 8s into the locked circuit of the 8, the infinity symbol of the union of the twins, where their hearts then are exchanged as they retain their independence on either side of the half moon on either side. So at 12:52 is the Hanging Man and the Queen of Swords, the Lion and the Lamb, the Lion's Gate, and notice the lair again, which is very close to the lyre, right? L-A-I-R. The L is the left at the right angle, both sides of the coin with air. The Lion's Gate and the North Node with serious tones here today, as the lion calls for help and the lamb arrives, as the lion says, "And what is this?" But the lamb removes the thorny crown so that the lion can retire a while, kind of like Hercules, right, taking over for Atlas, on the Serengeti, a serenade to get to source. The eagle hermit goes unnoticed, but make no mistake, if it is the eagle and the lion's heart, make no mistake that it is the eagle and the lion's heart who flies in other dimensions. The lion-eagle pair is the 8 and the 9 in the 698 pod of the grounding and soaring together towards a meeting point decided by the lamb in the North Node. It's just the beginning. We've only just begun to live. So the Carpenters are coming up there. There's your Jesus reference. So at 1 o'clock, the 00, the source energy backing up the 1 of the leap and the masculine, the magician, the union of the sun of 17/8 or 8/17, perhaps August 17th, as the light of the sun, love, to the 24, the home of love, like the Pleiadians, 2 as 1, and the Pleiadians' relationships are like a twin flame relationship, okay? The 2 and the 4, and the Q, which is the 2 of conception, right? The 0 with the line is the energy of the sperm getting into the egg. The Q of conception, and the 4 of the lambda or lambda father leap. And you notice that the 2 and the 4 represent the woman getting pregnant, and then the one leaving their body to the other side. But again, we don't no longer have to die to cross the veil in that lambda father leap. The Q receives the souls, and the 4 lamb leaps to source. These are the spaces between the light love, the home union and healing dreams of the 30 and the 17, which equals 47, that 4 to 7 sweet spot from the heart to the crown. The heart is home, and the crown heals and dreams, and together the 2 and 4, or to and fro, of the sun's luck, the Knight of Wands, the Phoenix, and the twin flame snakes entwined. The 4 chambers of the heart, the 2 snakes of the Kundalini rising, and the dragon is the river run through it, the rising into compassionate and gracious love, the calm passion of easy pass connection and gratitude. The GR, which is silent, calm, still, and dispassionate attitude, a source-tude of GR of great, of Tony the Tiger and the Tyon, the Tiger Lioness combination of your great, the GR of that still, calm, silent attitude, and eat, calmly eating without attachment or resistance to what you're eating. The left at the right angle, UC, K, again luck. The LUCK of the Lambda Leap, the Holy Grail, the Holy Communion, and the energy of going from the Lambda Leap to the other side of the K energy and being okay with that. Of the 4 chambers, the lungs rising along with the Kundalini, the lion heart, the dragon wings of the eagle, and Sophia, the Holy Spirit, who goes unnoticed in wisdom like a whisper through the hole, the Y, the grail, the G-rail, tunneling through. Say it softly and it's almost like praying. Maria, Sophia, notice the Ea in that wisdom, the Eve and Adam of Ea and their tail, the story that is the trail or path of the Y, the 0 point field, the A, which is the rocket that leaves a trail behind, a cross rail, the railroad juncture, 2 tracks cross like the DNA, a trail of seamen, whispering to one equal and congruent to, or the E, no matter how far away they are. West Side Story, West End, and East Her Island, fairy tale, end. The seamen in the yellow submarine, and the CLs, the sealed with holding tank and very little fluid. The S of the sine wave in Sophia, and the woe, SWO, or was. Her sine wave, the blue Madonna, Sophie, with higher connections. The woe of the human and the woman, right? The woe of the feminine, and the man is supposed to be, according to Elena and her connections, where we're from, of the Mon planet, right? The who from Mon. So the woe Mon is the 2 U's of source embodiment, and the who from Mon, the woe and the who. She cranks back and forth as he leaps and arcs and builds bridges. The A is the rise, and the E is the evening out of the heartbeat. The EA is the evening in, or Ea, right? It's like parents, making you stay home, bringing you back home. And there's that energy of being called back home today, and that's in my Instagram messages. So Ea brought Eve to Adam when all hell broke loose. So it was up to Ea to even things out again, which he's done this year, according to Elena Denon and her meeting with them. The underlying energy of the 34 and the King of Pentacles, of the Pisces, the abundant fish, the EE of shared seas, at a strip of land, The King of Pentacles, who gets charged or empowered by the vortices, as Sagittarius tells the story. The fairy dragon tail, the transport of the Aries lamb to the Leo lion, as through the lion's heart, the dragon lungs and wings expand, their dragon breath and eagle's etheric wings, the wind beneath her wings. The 25 of the Knight of Wands with new inspiration to the commitment to the ruby ring, the ring of fire, to bridge with the 38 Queen of Cups, to get to the other side of sudden wealth and full house, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. The Pisces of the Vesica Pisces there. The King funding the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Cups to align in their 3 keys, like teaching them how to get their 3 keys. He builds her bridges as she has charged him with love light from the sun, and in the end aligned for everyone's highest good. The 2 and the 5 and the 6 then come up here of the divine feminine and higher self, the 6 of Pentacles of sharing their 4-leaf clover, or the 4 chambers of their heart and wishes, their lion's heart, with eagle following closely above, going unnoticed in the tree of freedom, of change and expansion, the tree of life at 141 to 42 as the train was blowing, the whistle was blowing. Dinah, blow your horn. The tree of life, the master of the hidden house, the 7 of Cups of synchronicities, and the mature loving woman, aka the eagle, the vehicle to remove the thorny crown. After all, she brought him into this world. She should be the one to take him out of this 3D world. No longer the scarecrow or scare crown, right? The crow of Jesus hanging on the cross. No longer the scarecrow crown, Jesus hanging in the fields. For the number 4, scare, is another sophism under Sophia's care. And the crown is Christ's round, that he has already risen. The Christ R represents the P of rho in Greek. The chi and the rho is the P and the X. So you see the X is coming up again today as well. And again, just getting general information from Wikipedia. And I'm not really familiar with this symbol of the P and the X, which is very significant because it references a Christ symbol. The chi and the rho of the chrismon. In Greek, it's the X, P, I, sigma, T, O, and then sigma again, the Greek Christos. The stroke of rho, which is the letter P, that intersects with the center of the chi of the X. The XPO means to Christ, where Constantine the Great had saved a poor North African historian by making them their tutor to his son, and was given a dream. In his dream, he was told to put the symbol of the P with a line across it on his soldiers' shields, and they won the war. And then there's all different symbols of the X, but also the cross, and then the omega, the alpha and omega, and then the P in the middle. But again, this represents the circle at the top is that energy of the pineal gland and the crown. And for me, the pinwheel. And again, my example of the safety pin. The XPI in the Bible, Matthew 1:18, as Christi, often almost submerged, and notice the submerged referencing the submarine. It's almost submerged by decoration. So again, as not to be seen, that which supports but isn't seen, like that Holy Spirit energy. The Chi Rho pages. And again, the pineal to crown energy. The P is the 17th letter, Rho, representing R and equals 100. From Phoenician letter that looks like the 4 of the flag, which is RES. A liquid consonant along with the lambda pronunciation. And in math or physics, the P is the density, the prime constant of resistivity, how much resistance there is, how much density is there, the general quantum states, and the spectral radius of the matrix, which is expanded, the energy of the P, whereas the energy of the sigma is the linear radius, or the sum, as in you use the sigma symbol as summation on the computer. So we have this energy of chi rho, and the abbreviation of that, xpi, which is x of the x dance, and the pi of the circle with the line down the middle. So again, it's that circle with the line down the middle, and then the x, which then represents a pi in 6 parts. Again, the flower of life energy comes up there. The sigma energy also is represented by, in different languages and different times, the W and the M, which represents the rolling stone. The W, the M, the E, and the 3. The sigma is the rolling stone. The spectrum of linear magnitude, and the Tesla energy was coming up there as well. So the Christos is the pi and the X, and then the sigma to sigma, or the rolling stone, showing movement of the pi and the X of the flower of life. And then again, the energy of that pi symbol between the 2 parentheses, as we split open the pi, and the energy of the rolling stone, which is the gift, or the window. So it's, and again, I was just doodling all those energies coming up down here as they came up, okay? So again, this sigma is 18 and equals 200 and is the linear sum, whereas the P is the 17, which equals 100, and is the matrix radius energy. It's more of a quantum energy there. The pi and the tau was also coming up with that Greek word, the x pi tau and the x pict OC, the XP of the inner child, and TOC, TOC, the top dog of the human energy and Christ consciousness, the human embodiment on the whispering bench. The XI, which also represents 11 of alignment. The P, the XI equals the P, which equals the XPI, abbreviation of Christos. The P with the X across the stem. And again, my pin, as the Vesica Pisces is in the bottom, so that's added to the P. So this Chi Rho plus Vesica Pisces equals the safety pin, basically. And then 2 pi also comes up here, which is 6.28, which is the lovers and that higher love of the twin flames. So just like the energy of the lovers and the angelic realms, there's a step, I want to even say above that, of the twin flames, the 2. Because according to Sam the Illusionist actually channeled one day the list of the densities of all of the angels, and most of the angels are actually in the 5th densities in order to be with us, because we were in the 3rd density. But this energy of the twin energies here, and this mercurial energy was coming up too, of the messengers closest to source, is coming up again here as the lovers and to the twin flames. Again, the 11 to 21 and the 14 to 24 of the masculine and the feminine, of raising it an octave, of justice to the angel, and ET coming from the world, or the feminine being whole and complete, and raising to that extraterrestrial energy, and then the masculine from justice from 11 of justice to the 14 of the angelic realms, but the feminine from the world of the masculine and the feminine to the 24, which is the space between, right, which represents where the soul leaps in and leaps out, which is a quality of the divine feminine. So the XP of which is the X of the feminine, the P of the radius of the matrix of the inner child, the sigma energy, to the sigma, or the sum of the rolling stone and their linear radius. So at 324 is that soaring of the eagle to the 24. So again, referencing that Virgo energy coming up here as the mercurial Virgo, right? Because the mercurial is Gemini. They have different functions though, right? Gemini is that twin energy, whereas the Virgo is the purification function. The energy of purification of the eagle, of the 2 and the 4, right? The soul leaping in, the soul leaping out, where EA is happy here. The eagle is EA's glee. Of the Vesica Pisces, which is the two pies together, where the second circle creates the Q energy of the connection between them. In and out as space between. The 11 and 3 sevens of alignment, right? The lines next to each other, and then the alignment of the 3 sevens and resonance, the rippling effect. The 2 and the 5 and the 6 that I looked up in Gematria, which the first entry was Baphomet, then UFO, then honorable, morning, as in good morning, the rock, so be it, lucky, divine feminine or higher self to share with the Hierophant, the family tree, the master of the hidden house, and the mature loving woman, the lover or twin, with Libra, Pisces, Taurus, and Gemini here. And notice all of the twin symbolism there with the master of the hidden house, because that's the Hierophant or Taurus energy. So the Gemini energy is the twin energy, the Pisces is the twin fishes, and the Libra is the scales. And the Taurus being the master of the hidden house, right? The initiator of alchemy. Learning how to accept both polarities and therefore be the neutral judge in the middle. Straight from the 2 pages, aligned with the stars and gifts, the eagle emerges to carry the baton from the 14 back to the 6. Remember, the 6 is the spiral, and the 14 is that higher love, but it's also the 14 of the 14 is the 4 of the lambda leap, but also the leap in front of that, the whispering bench, and the 4 of the lambda leap to the 6 of spiraling, which is a higher love, back to the lovers in the chariot ascending as chariots of fire to steal the crown as we're going into the Olympics next year. And remember my 1111 energy, 777 to 888 next year, which ends up, is near the end of the Olympics. I think the closing ceremonies are supposed to be 8/11 next year. And actually my nephew is due a new baby on 8/11 in a couple days. So we're in the Lion's Gate here, and she's pulling in some powerful energy. That's all I got to say. So there's a higher love to the lovers in the chariot. The chariot's of fire, and that energy of the Olympics of going back to Mount Olympus next year from the 777 of the moment before, the calm before the storm. The 888 is the storm, and it's also the 3/8 of the twin flame energies going into that third 8. To steal the crown. EA becomes the fairy godmother in the Cinderella story, creating a new version where King James removes their thorny crown to come along for the ride of conflict and competition. And oh my God, not Mount Olympus again, as it's all Greek to me, the tomb of the unknown soldier at 337. The 3 keys of alchemy, along with Mother Nature there, and the eagle soaring horizontally. Have we really not learned our lessons? A time to play, not prove who's better, but to teach each other how we do what we do, if they so choose to learn, under their free will. As the 23 of the King of Wands, perhaps McDreamy or British law, as the King of Wands is to the courthouse with paperwork, or a mission, or perhaps a mission statement, or a change of address, a change of car, name, or some kind of legal change. With the Hermit or Virgo, or hermiting changes, which is the triangle again, with the 15 of the lovers, or shadow lover, who hermits unseen, with official person who's always seen on the Fool's Journey, or 2023, Virgo and Capricorn here, with the North Node in Aries, or Leo and Aries of the Lion and the Lamb, escorting the eagle to their shadow lover on a tour, a marriage, and over the threshold, again, the Archer. And again, the energies of 823, 915 came up, and 922. And 915 is El Paso, Texas area code. And 823 isn't in the United States as an area code, but it is Mexico. So there's an El Paso, Mexico connection right there. And 922 is a toll-free number. So I don't know if they're planning on having a border change there at El Paso in Mexico, because it's right there. I mean, they're right together, so that people can go back and forth without having to pay a toll or just not having to show their passport right there. I don't know what it is, but there's something right there. I don't know how you can not show your passport, because, once you're in Mexico, you can go anywhere. But there's some kind of neutralizing there at El Paso and Mexico. The marriage between El Paso and Mexico, perhaps toll-free. I don't know what that means. But 352 is the Empress and the Queen of Swords, the underlying energy of the 4 and the cellular light, the 40 of spectrum generator, and then 14 of the seal of Venus. And notice all 3 numbers are 4s, 4, 40, and 14. And then 50 was the Pleiadian Stargate card, 79 the dimensional planes of perception number 7, the Orion Stargate 53, and then the 64 of the Temple of Centering. The Emperor's Light, with the Page of Cups rays powering them, with a higher love of the Seal of Venus, and the 10 of Cups family Pleiadians Stargate. The Pot of Gold and Perception number 7, and I believe this alignment with Sirius was originally aligned with the Pleiades, except the planet has shifted and it's now aligned with Sirius. Okay, I believe that's correct. Don't quote me though. The path of change, the paradigm shift, and the adjustment. The 53 of the Knight of Swords with influence on grounding, solitude, and belonging. The Temple of Centering to end the pain and therefore achieve bliss, which is that reference to 64. And very interesting too, because my new little great my new little great niece coming in would have the destiny of the 64 of bliss, which is it's just really cool how her numbers came up and the powering of it. But at 357 is the Empress and the 57 of the 3 of Swords, the 2 card of adenine and thymine, the DNA duality of contrast, trust, and balance, the 38 of the Queen of Cups and cosmic calibrator of guidance, repatterning, and universal attunement. And again, there's that reference of sound, at tune, and intention. The 78 of the 10 of Pentacles, of the dimensional planes of perception number 6, of mastering accountability, acceptance, and the 10 of Pentacles energy of heaven on earth. The 70 and 52 of the 2 of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords, the Temple of Amethystic, and Andromedan Stargate. And Andromeda has been coming up a lot this month as well. Patience with dissolution for invention, innovation, scientific pursuits. Performing Lady Liberty here. This was crazy too. You know how I always say that Athena is, her alter ego is actually Hercules. And that literally came up in the movie I was watching last night, where they're on a tour of Greece, and she stops the tour guide who just said that Hercules was the hero, and she stops him and says, yeah, but wasn't it Athena who told him what to do? And so here's this again, bridging Athena to Hercules again, Hercules being her, right? She's being the man that her father always wanted her to be, so to speak, and then that allows her to be human as well. And again, this is bridging to Lady Liberty here. The bliss of the divine feminine Queen of Cups, or her higher self, of heaven on earth, and then performing with the Queen of Swords, or breaking patterns for more freedom. The underlying energy of the firefly, the tiger, the wolf, and the elk, of the blinking lights, the fleeting inspiration that lights the way, going unseen, for the tiger and the wolf to meet with the elk, or perhaps who's now a moose. After building a dam with the beaver's help, the horse, the crow, and the graceful gazelle inspire the tiger, the wolf, and the elk or moose in a powwow or think tank, while they hold down the fort, perhaps inspiring the tiger and wolf to listen to the elk or moose, or just making sure before you listen to them that they are well fed, so that they don't overheat. And I wrote heart by accident, so they don't overheart or overheat. As the eagle drops in on the twins, remember eagle is the Ea's glee, who seeded us from the Neanderthal man, drops in on the twins, the swans to clear the rest of the way, gliding into the finish line, or 2 birds reflecting each other. One brings in and one puts out, Or the eagle swoops in to protect the swans from the crocodile who's lurking, who attached themselves to the pretty peacock for their cover, right? So they're not seen in order for them to get in. So again, the Trojan horse coming up here as we go back to Greece. Eagles, hawk, birds escorting the twin swans through the crowds, past the element, quote unquote, to the mouse and the otter. Perhaps the elk moose is instructing it's like they're instructing before they go in. They're not like, it's like being in a hospital nursery was coming up here, right? Someone making sure they do whatever they're supposed to do, whether they have to gown or put on a mask or cleanse themselves, whatever they have to do before going into a nursery type of energy here. There could be a delivery ward here with newborns. Perhaps one of the people in the nursery is dangerous, but hangs out with the peacock to look good or to look like they aren't dangerous. I'm not sure I'd trust this crocodile around the innocents. It could be a bodyguard, a bouncer, or a proud peacock who jumped the gun, or perhaps this is just all a false alarm, as the little mouse is hiding in the dark, and the otter is very out there, right, and seen, very curious, without fear. Perhaps everyone rushed in for nothing. Or now they need to chill out if they want to see the little ones or get cleared first. So again, this energy perhaps of a false alarm that someone thought they were about to deliver and they didn't. And that can represent a pregnancy, but also other things. As then at 423, which is the Emperor and the King of Wands, or that lame de leap of the King of Wands, the lizard, the bat, and the spider come up as sensitive and spaced out, or hit one out of the park and now lost in space. Perhaps they cast a wide net, but still unsure how to get home according to those directions, or batter up in the cages. Perhaps a Liz or Liza is the crocodile peacock, perhaps sensitive to crowds and tends to freak out. Maybe they have a dual personality there. The mouse may be with anxieties, and they may be the one spaced out as the bat with wings. As the otter has got it down here, and waking the oyster, waiting for them to hatch. And then the Seattle Seahawks came up here, and they play the Eagles on December 17th, 23, so that might be a specific date that's important. So at 4:35, the energy of the Three of Swords and the Tower, apologizing for the false alarm or needing to be strong, with the King of Pentacles and the Emperor both reversed, and these could be the men, are pissed off who don't want to wait around. They could be pissed or getting short with the High Priestess, the aide, the nurse, or the sister, perhaps Pisces or Virgo, psychic, or the quiet one, not telling them anything. Again, the one who's trying not to be seen. Scorpio, Leo, and Aries all reversed here, as the High Priestess is present with the world, or two sides of the same coin, or two Pisces who are total opposites, or Virgo buttoned up and Pisces who's all out there, with gifts, or showed up, but sorry to say it's not time yet. So perhaps take a walk, or told to leave, or perhaps someone is inappropriately dressed. The Page of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles here, perhaps with nothing in common, or with lack of affection, and at the same party together. Perhaps one is innocent at 444, the angelic realms, and one is very worldly. And after coming together, if broke, the Queen of Cups reversed, the Queen of Cups reversed may be stuck and or sad, or just not in the mood, or perhaps drank too much and can't drive home, with the Four of Wands there, and that could be a celebration again regarding the party and home. With Gemini and Cancer both reversed here, and perhaps that King of Wands is hungry, or twins who are not so alike, as the Queen of Cups reversed, and that could be, fraternal twins that are born. As the Queen, and again, my daughter came out to discuss twins yesterday, because she came across a message from an Aphrodite who who said she impregnated herself, which was very interesting, which actually is possible. So there's this energy way to talk about, identical twins and fraternal twins, right? Being in the same egg or being in separate eggs. As the Queen of Cups reversed with Cancer in their chart may feel left out of a celebration or just home with new information or waiting for news from the Hermit or Virgo or someone with the light, or to leave the light on or the door open at 4:47. Again, this exchange of heart to crown. As the Hermit perhaps is without peace until they know their home, with Patience or Sagittarius dumping a load, a burden, or their responsibilities, perhaps dumping multiple loads, perhaps physical and emotional, dumping emotional attachments or dreams that have been dashed, or DoorDash and destined to announce, or be schooled for not waking up on time, or Libra upright and Aquarius upright, or being told quiet while they make an announcement, or so they can hear an announcement, or perhaps you're at the airport, a wake-up call imprisoning or anxiety over the unfairness of it all. But I want to get the futility of it all, but also farting was coming up again. That's really funny. Their hands are tied, nothing they can do, as the Nine of Cups is pleasant and holding their tongue, with the Page of Pentacles or curious kid, an invite to step outside, or if you want to talk, you have to go somewhere else. Exiled, injured, or ill, or just out in the cold, or sent away, depressed, but now the worst is over at least, as Aquarius is reversed and the Knight of Pentacles upright, and then offers help or proposes to free up the Empress reversed, or fool who's happy that their shift is over with the Empress reversed as the Knight of Pentacles comes in to cover them. As the Empress reversed perhaps has the truth here about the King of Cups reversed, or is giving the truth to him, or emotionally detached doctor or manipulative, arrogant, or egomaniac energy here, or just really insincere or insecure and depressed, with Aries upright, Taurus and Gemini reversed, perhaps stressed out or not sleeping, right? You don't want to deal with a Taurus Gemini reversed, not sleeping, who's an Aries. That could be a little fun. So they may be stressed out or not sleeping, and now letting go a bit to start over and do the same thing again and again, performing for the Ten of Cups reversed, or unhappy family, or an ending of an emotional cycle there. So this could be, and Aries is coming up as upright in the North Node with those other energies reversed. Perhaps in an unhappy or negative family, and ending an emotional cycle, with the Knight of Wands reversed, the player clinging, or the athlete this could be dealing with some kind of near-death experience too. Maybe someone got hurt in a game or something like that. But someone with a clingy attitude, or some kind of near-death experience, or just tired, or suddenly tired, like fine in 1 second, and the next second all of a sudden tired. As Sagittarius and Scorpio are both reversed, always at it or at each other's throats, or falling off the wagon together, or just, again, twins reflecting each other, right? Maybe you don't realize that when you fall off the wagon, so does your twin. Or just both dead tired of working overtime and having to be the Knight of Cups, offering love to those who have failed, or those who are needy for attention, perhaps with a bad reputation, or offering love under the radar, or paying someone under the table as a favor. As the Page of Wands upright here, maybe excited that the war or virus is over, or that inner war. And now that they can deal with the PTSD, so they just want to know what they're dealing with so that they can do something about it. So this is someone who's happy, at least they know it's over and it's PTSD and perhaps looting that has occurred. Perhaps excited to get it wrapped up, to come clean, or perhaps cleanup duty. With the King of Wands upright, the Devil, and or temptation there, or Capricorn upright with the King of Wands reversed, or testimony on who did what, and getting to the nitty-gritty of who's telling the truth. With the King of Swords upright and the King of Wands reversed, and the devil made me do it, the ball and chain, or the ties that bind, but here nothing in common. Perhaps a child and their father, or a fight or competition, given no choice by the Ten of Pentacles upright, family, business, or community. of wealth and power, as the Three of Pentacles, maybe the small business, and maybe, is being taken over by the big business or the big powers that be, perhaps receiving a message from the parent company to pull back on spending, or maybe they have to lay off people, or send an assessment of worth as the past returns with a vengeance, a rude awakening to a falling out in the past, or taking them back to fears from their childhood. And again, you're supposed to remain neutral to that. You're just being tested on these energies that still need to come up from your subconscious to let them go without feeding into them. So hanging out with the Two of Cups upright partner to start over with the Queen of Swords reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed, receiving love from the wounded warrior who's on guard, standing up to the injustice with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, Taurus, or a marriage, religion, or institution, exposing all, or married with kids with Taurus and Leo upright, making a big offer at night with a lot of back and forth about it, or day and night, sunshine and giving, and then the nightmare of getting back to people or constant messages afterwards, and that's after the shift is done. Activities are back and forth, travel as well, unending energy stream or arrows of love. But even the arrows love, like if it's taking your energy, that energy drain, it's this energies of something that never ends, and it's not making them happy anymore. And again, Big Eyes came up on the feed again on Netflix. So, and that came up, I told you that came up in my message the other day before I saw the message on my stream, and then it actually came up as the first movie when I looked up at the TV. Nonstop also came up as well as the River Wild. So then we have my second message of the day. I know that was a long one. This was one of my posts too. This is representing the twin flames together. It also represents, the mother and father, the pregnant woman, and the Atlas energy. So this is actually called Atlas and Hercules. So you can check that on Instagram with the music. You have to listen to my Instagram messages with the music because there's a feeling behind the message. So here is the next one, which is the Fortune's Oracle, Journey of Love, Nature's Whispers, and then the Shaman deck at the bottom there. So these were pulled yesterday at 12:21 is the Fortune's Oracle, 22, which is the World, 22 is the Fool, and I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. Hold on. This was pulled yesterday at 9:18 a.m., the Fortune's Oracle, and then at 9:19, which is the Sun, 18 is the Moon, 19 is the Sun, the Journey of Love, 21 is the World, was Nature's Whispers, perfect for Mother Nature, and then at 9:22 the Shaman deck was pulled, which is the Fool, and that open heart and a leap of faith. And again, George Michael's. And you got to have faith. The decks at the end came up just 1121. That's it. As the 1121, remember the Pi energy comes up here. As I wrote number 1, right? I wrote a 1 with a circle around it, which is Pi. As I went into Gematria to look up 1121, since that was the only number that came up today, because usually I get 2 numbers. And the first entry on Gematria was Christmas Eve, but I then saw Pi in the number 1. The second entry was Orban Victor. The third is Jasmine. Then School, Red, Black, Viking. Yeshua Protected, K. Forward, Is Not Being Afraid, IJC. Number 10 was the date 213, so that may be significant for you. That can also represent the Queen's transition. The 11th was the Female Messiah, is already here. 12 is Winging It. 13 was Team Jesus. 14 was Michael Protzman, fails again. 15 was 144.1, so that's 144.1. 16 was Who is Enki, so there's Enki, or Ia coming up again. The 17th entry was Ms. Ratnaningsih, Pistis Sophia, and the 18th entry was Decode, Queen of Holy Breath. Justice of the world, alignment to one, as we leap one to one with truth and balance, the divine feminine and the divine masculine. The divine masculines are at the gate, protecting the masculines and the feminines, as the hanging man in the middle, as the divine feminine and masculine, in the pairing of the C's. The C's of the letter C, capital C, and then S, as in C's, and then the capital C with the little t, which is the letter G. So C and T of the G, and C and S of the Christus Sophia, which represents the same thing of the C and the T, which is the top dog. The leap to the mother of the Sophia, and the leap to the father of Christos Sophia, God. The whispering bench of the sine wave, and the buck stops here. The unity path of the C's, of the letter C, of the ocean seas, and the sight of seeing, where the 144.1, I also looked that up in Gematria, which the first entry was the greatest apocalypse prophet, the Secret Service agent, the storm has arrived, Solomon's vault, Daniel pipes as a coward, XRPXLMXDCAL, GOFLRIOTA. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but, and then it is 90 seconds to midnight. Then JFK came up, but there was an R after. JF Kennedy R came up. Ended BMYRA using Facebook account. So Myra's coming up again. And Myra's coming up several times, both MIRA and MYRA. Literally, it's come up like 4 or 5 times, and that's not something common to come up. So at 936 is the Hermit and the 36 of Atlas, the underlying energy of the 18 and the Lovers, 45 Hidden Beauty, 50 of the Potential Gateway, 51 of Stars in the Sky, as the Lovers' romance, be true to yourself, with the Hanging Man and the Fool, embracing the changes and being adventurous. Purging hidden beauty, getting over loss, regret, and the past, with the 10 of the magical the 10 of Cups of the magical family and the potential gateway. The King of Swords in the middle of the bridge with the stars in the sky and limitless possibility, as she and he, Cancer and Air, or Area 51 coming up, in a gift from the stars. At 947, which is the Hermit, the One and the All, and the 4 to 7, which is the Heart to the Crown, the underlying energy of the 2 of the Divine Feminine or Higher Self, which can represent a masculine energy as well as your other self. The 2 of the Divine Feminine or Higher Self Angel, the wings and the lungs wide open, as one for all and all as the whole maker, AWL, for one. 14 is the whole with a W, for one is the Holy Grail, the whole without the W. The hands together in abundance of lucky times ahead. In the lambda leap to lion's roar, holding the Father's finger in a birth of abundance and gold. At 413, or 1-4, the leap and lambda leap, the 4 and the 13, which 13 would be written that way, 13/4, the transition of goals, which is go, alls, all hands, and a new one too. The angel and magician and the emperor in transition of a lover's romance here, with Pisces and the Pisces, Gemini, Virgo, Aries, Scorpio, Cancer, and lots of water energy with Mercury, Gemini, and Virgo, and Aries in the North Node, again referencing these energies. You can grab as many hands as possible outside yourself, or perhaps go within and just grab one finger. With Athena, Hercules, and then Atlas coming up with Ellis Island, with the number 212, which is Manhattan, and Ocean Gate. So this is reference of the Statue of Liberty, Lady Liberty, and Ellis Island of Atlas and Hercules. And the 212 Ocean Gate of Manhattan, and the man with the yellow hat, or crown, and Curious George. As 214 also came up, which is Dallas, and a lot about February here, and simple. The first entry for 214 was simple. Number 2 is April, ND, N is Nancy D. The third was I Am Batman, with the number 444 as well, the angelic realms, and the Moon Child, and then Captain, or Capitan. and Ma Holmes. That also is 444. So April ND, Simple, and I Am Batman were all 444 as well as 214. And Ma Holmes, Mahomes. And then Hercules, which is 411, came up, which the first entry for 411 was Christmas, then Quant, K, Dark Matter, and the number 91 also came up with Christmas, which is the central sun for me in numerology. So at 10:04, which is 10:4, message received, and Lady Liberty, with Ellis, which is L is an island, Greece and Morocco at the Olympics, and Atlas compete for her attention. Olympus with 52 peaks in her honor, and Mitakis knows, and Zeus's 7 to 9 daughters, Atlas and the Titan fathers, and Zeus with the Olympian sons. Sources, quote unquote, tans or humans, and sons, human lymph. All right, so that energy of Olympians is coming up as the human, either the limb, as in like a limb, an arm or a leg, pi ones, or limp, I ones of self-service, or pus on his father's limb, and competition for mother, lovers, or muses' attention. At 10:19, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Sun, the underlying energy of the lovers. The first card here is the Hanging Man and the Fool, the romantic awakening of hanging in limbo with the skeleton key, the shadow of the unicorn of 5D plus or 50 plus, and Mr. Ed suddenly realizing that he has a horn, an antenna from his third eye, or forehead, which is for he, AD, 33, a Christedness, Christ, Ed, Mr. Ed, and Ness, and the Loch Ness monster coming up here. And that was just referencing Hydra. The Christ Ed Ness of Christ, Mr. Ed, and apparently Hydra. Or Christ extra-dimensional mass, as the lovers, Mr. and Mrs. Ed, and Ed can reference God as Mr. Ed, or perhaps extra-dimensionals, or education, as the daughter, son, and the bridge, and the hanging out with the open heart, with loyal friends from the start, the romantic daughter with best friend, and lucky son, the four chambers, I am, all heart. The Elohim of the Electric Light Orchestra hymn in a symphony of heart beats, which I actually posted again yesterday. So listen to that again too. That song is so beautiful and high vibrational. To the seraphim or the seraphi of I am, evening out again. So again, the seraphim is the evening and the Elohim is that orchestra of the beat, of the heartbeat. The underlying energy at 1106, which is the alignment of the lovers, the 3 of the burning hero, 22 of loving all that is, 45 of hidden beauty, and the eagle soars as the abundant hero, her human, or who from man, collapsing into her 0 point, and loving arms again, Mother Nature and 5D stationing, by loving all that is, the hidden and the seen beauty, the open heart and the lack of it, the beauty that comes from it, and that contrast. The 46 of the 2 of Swords, dance of the planets, the dance, the Dan, in your knowing of the Dan, the DNA, and the seal of the plan of the ETs, plus, and. So it's just, noting that the word AND is the same as ET is and in French, and the plus sign is also and. So it comes up as the Dan, DNA, and the seal of the and, the ETs, or the plus symbol. The ETs plus, extending outside themselves, us extending outside ourselves. Or Andromeda, because that's and is the nickname for Andromeda, as Rome wasn't built in a day, but 40 nights as well, and around the world in AD days, 2023 of them. to love, like in tennis, to love, to 3, right, which is that bird, that eagle soaring across. So 3, to fly, or is that the fly? FLY is digamma, lambda 0 point, at the Y in the road, hand in hand in the chaos of the cyclone, which is the cycle of 1, and the vortex. The cycle of 1 and the center of it all. The 9 of the heart of God, the hermit's wisdom within, 1 for all and all for one. You are, remember R is rho, or that letter P, you are the all. You are the one, the rho. The P of rho, reaching out for more, to the sun, a serious one. If you dance within, you dance within. If you dance within that 1-2 punch of getting 2 in 1, while all at the same time. The 6-9 of the 6-9-8 pod of contemplation of 2 peas in a pod. The hermiting crab who be someone who would do something like that. The hermiting crab of the home, and the virgin, the Cancer and Virgo coming up here, of Mr. and Mrs. Ed. BFFs, transition fast forward. B digamma digamma, which literally, if you draw it out, is 2 hearts. 2 hearts entwined, divine, 2 vines. The 69 to 70 of heaven on earth, a projection of all the 2s out there in the clouds, the etheric mist. The universe reflecting back at you who you are, the gorillas in the mist, the Neanderthal, ne-and-erthal, one who neanders to the nth degree all, any and urgently, to the nth degree, all. At 1128, the alignment of the twin flames of 4, 5, 5, 6, 9, 6, 9, and 70 here from the cards. For the truth of 6, 9, 6, 9, 2 peas in 2 pods, as 3 pods is all it takes to create a world of open hearts. And my picture of the moon card on my Instagram is actually the energy of 3 pods coming together, and it makes that beautiful moon that I posted, so check that out. So 2 peas and 2 pods, as it only takes 3 pods to create a world of open hearts. The 8-8, which today is, sealing the deal at 1133 of alignment of the 40 bridge, the 33 of Christ consciousness, bringing you to the other side, the underlying energy of the first card here to make a wish, the 6, that's number 1, the 6 of seeing the big picture, the magic of the lovers healing the root in order to flower the crown, and there's that energy of the flower of life again, to leap and spiral, the energy of the in alchemy, the masculine is change and the feminine is shape, to seek beauty, and number 44 of Hercules, her harvest, that she is invested in herself, 44, the lambda, leaping for 2, LL and 11 is 111 or 111. Again, the pi symbol of co-creation with 8 candles plus 1. Suddenly Athena is Esther Williams in synchronized swim, blowing out all her candles as a major dear one is giving you their undivided attention, loving and longing for your glow, as noticing the veil of wishes adorning your head, with a train a mile wide that goes on forever in the waters of Venice, where the V can be nice, swimming up to the doorways that you've never seen before, bringing good news, and trusting your own understanding of Atlas's mountains through rose-colored glass ceilings. The transition to the renewal of peace, the P seal, with baby fairy in the nook of the tree, as all the animals come to see. Scorpio and Cancer here, or the transformation of your little girl, creating ripples amongst the mighty sentinels, dipping her toes into the womb of the earth, and seeing the magic tree of life that we call home. At 1147, of aligning with the 4 to 7 heart to crown, as we got a delivery right then. The crowns are tingling here, glowing from flowers and candles and new horizons, and decorative masks or filters, transmuting the waters, viewing the seas, or journey of Hercules, to see there's no place like home, and our magical tree, clicking 3 times to leap on the 4th note, or pi, 13 to 7, reverse engineering in creation of the earth. The ear to the nth degree is earth, and Ea, who's listening to their crossbred watery children as we discern energies, as she dips her toes in the water and transforms everything into magic. Know your power, man, as the 50 of the 10 of cups is the energy at 11:58, which is the alignment with the 4 of swords and the 5D connection with your twin. The 50 of the 10 of cups and the avatar magical tree, which is also the throne of the grandmother. The avatar magical tree for all to see. The grandmother's throne, which is the path of 1. The potential gateway of 164432 and 50. The magic lovers of family of her harvest. The tower of Hercules Athena and her journey through death and back. A boomerang to emotionally fulfilling family. As then I was getting, again, my family tree that's coming in, because I've had several messages from family members, like which children they are, because we have a whole bunch of grandchildren now. I think this is number 11. It was interesting the way there was like triangles of energies coming back from my family to work certain situations out, but like in separate families, but yet the same overall family. It was very interesting the way it was coming up. So at 12:11 is the Hanging Man and Justice of alignment. The first card of the 20 and a wake-up call to higher ground. The giant rose with a fairy in it. The product of you and he, and one huge step for mankind. Her leap in, and now resting in the northern lights of the mother's womb. In the energetic exchange or hours of love, that EE energy of the rolling stone. And vulnerable with the 39, the clear endeavor, the Russian connection. The crown is very active as Atlas Queen of Wands, and Andromeda comes up here too, with her own Pegasus, which always comes up as the seahorse with the wild child riding the seahorse, comes up as Andromeda and Pegasus. And perhaps they could be a bit gaseous. This could be a new child who's a bit gaseous as well. So at 12:42 is the Hanging Man and the 2 of Cups. As her hair may grow really fast, be clear with endeavors of clear of intent. Be your best self always for peace in the end. And Seal was coming up too. I don't know if it was Seal and Heidi. I didn't find any news, but Seal was coming up. And Death of a Rose, I guess, is coming up right now. At 12:58, which is the Hanging Man and the 4 of Swords, the underlying energy of the 51, of the King of Swords, an Area 51 that came up earlier, the stars in the sky after the 27 of the Queen's Gambit, and the heart home, that Ace of Wands, the flame and compassion, of Vesica Pisces, the Queen's Gambit, and the holy waters of the vortices coming together, the fresh and the salt, the 46 of the root girl who disowned themselves and was burned to the ground, with the 59 of the mother in the wailing tree, grieving in wailing tree reconciliations, the 46 of the 6 of Cups little girl in that tree, burned to the root or orphaned. And these could be wounds that still need to come up and be released. And again, as my grandmother's coming through, and she was definitely orphaned. They were, she was Polish, and so many of those families were starved to death because they weren't given work, or their children were working. She worked in the sewing factory raising her little brother when she was 10 years old. So this energy of the little girl who was orphaned, right? Her whole family burned down to the ground. And the 59 of the 5 of Swords inner wars of imprisonment as well here. Little orphan Annie and the mother who couldn't get to her on time. There is no place like home, just like in The Wizard of Oz. As the 53 Knight of Swords, the curious stranger is ready to dive deep, to come out on the bridge in lotus position. The Knight of Swords and the King of Swords, where fresh meets salt, the father and child, or their message to all. As the one card here is 55 of the Farther Gate and Excalibur, the double gates or the airlock, where the sword was and no longer is. The 5, which is the number 3 here, the Master of the Hidden House, to close up the wound. So here's this energy of the sword having been removed, but you need to fill up that hole. You need to close up the wound. So, and again, these other wounds coming up to be closed. 53515555, seal the 5s there. Major change for air signs here. As the 9 of the Hermit, green moth to the flame, they dance on one foot in a balancing act to stabilize them while they heal. 5 to 9 is coming up again, that reverse engineering of the daily grind. Instead of 9 to 5, it's coming up as 5 to 9, undoing 9 to 5, unable to close the doors and able to close doors with a single toe, like Superman with a single leap. Able to close the doors with a single toe, my toes, the myth of mitosis. Mitose is the mite, right, of the mighty superfly, the tiny insect to cut, but the mite is also the moth. And mite came up with the card Dolomite yesterday as well, and dynamite. A small coin used in the time of Christ as well. The woman, the myth, mild, mature, moderate, balmy, meek, and mitis, which means light or fruitful, juicy, ripe nature, peaceful, pleasant, calm, and gentle, to ripen, sweet, and dear one, soft, plump, tender, and to measure. The mito is the MTN, is also the river and the pillow. That's funny too. My daughter just showed me an Instagram where the dog liked to sleep inside the pillowcase on the pillow. It's really cute. Or Me Too's energy coming up here with the 5D unicorns and the 698 pod, the Knight of Cups and the Hermit, and Cancer, Virgo, Russian connection, holding down the fortnight, which is coming up as the 4th night with the silent H and the silent K. The fortnight, of course, is 2 weeks, but it's also coming up as the 4th night of the 4 nights. And the HK, which are the silent letters here, which means horsepower, or again, Mr. Ed, while Taurus closes the door, right? Because Taurus is leaving the North Node, because Aries already took over. The 57 of the unmarked trail of revelation, that the pressure is on, the coal compressed in the center of the labyrinth, with screws getting tighter and tighter until a diamond bursts forth. Night, the fortnight of the H and the K, which is the horsepower of the fortnight and the 4th night, of 7 to 8, then 8 to 9, then 9 to 10, to 10 to 11, and the energy of 11, getting to 11:11. A week to create, a week to ground and integrate. Remember that energy of source energy of December 7th to the 13th, having created the world in 6 days plus 1, they rested, and then another week to ground and integrate, and then coming up as 81 days to get there, or 80 days around the world plus 1. So first the 81 days was bringing us into 1019, 1020, and then, which is the end of Libra, and then we have the full moon, which was the first, plus 80 and 1 is that energy, and then we get to from today, the whole 2 weeks plus the 80 plus 1 days brings us up to 11:11. So very significant days coming up. Destiny of the Sun and 11:11, and 11:11 also represents 777 to 888, ending up at the end of the Olympics next year. The 1 year, 1 month, 1 day, 1 hour of the 11:11 from now till then. And it was also coming up the year of, so at your birthday every year, your number changes, right? And then your birth year is also always from your birthday, not the calendar year. So like just an example, my birthday, 9/18. This year, as it changes in 2023, I've been in a 33 year and it becomes the 34 year, which is the energetic exchange. That's where the 34 was coming up because my year is going into the energetic exchange, the hours of love. But also it goes from 33, 34, which is the EE, the energetic exchange, to the 35, which is the wounded warrior, WW, to the 36, which is coming up as the MM, which is the Atlas energy of the mountains, okay? The mighty mountain. So then we have at 144, of course, the 144 and the 1 of the masculine, the magician, the 44 of Hercules. And that can reference the Atlas and Hercules energy right there, as well as the angelic energies of the Temperance card. The Hanging Man and the Fools dance together with the 20 of Judgment and the Higher Ground. And again, the rose, the grand rose here. And I told you Avatar is Ava's grandmother and Tar is the throne of the grandmother. And again, that tree of life from Avatar. So the energy of judgment, and again, you can sit in that place of judgment if you can actually be neutral. The energy on higher ground, the truth be told, closing the gap or the wound. And that can be, of course, a generation gap. As Capricorn is key to the heart of God, or Virgo energy of energetic exchange of the vulnerable child, the arrows of love, and closing the door. 15-9345 came up here in a leap of 5 to 9, undoing time. 345, staying alive this time, out of time and space. The 2 unicorns at the 5D station in the POD pods, or containment, quote unquote, with clear endeavor of the Knight of Cups to be love, as the hermit moth dances on one foot, with sun and luck. And notice we talked about luck again, the L and then the UC of the Holy Grail and the Holy Communion energy of the L of the lambda leap and the L of the left at the right angle, so being both sides with the Holy Grail and the Holy Communion of energy, right, taking the 4 to the K, which is taking the energy to the other side, and the sun being the sine wave of the Holy Grail and the Christ energy, performing heaven on earth with the map of intent of Atlas, and the 24 of the Queen of Wands and Omega, the Om and the feminine ego, and the Pleiadian energy, and again our family, of Alpha Omega, from start to end, from A to O, for peace on earth, healing the separation at 150 of the 1 and the 50 of the 10 of Cups, and the happiness of all of the family, healing the separation of all of the family, a long time coming, unmasked and unmarked, 1C energy of ED or Ed. The top dog's rail of revelation is the revealing, the pulling back of the veil to see the puzzle box, the ball rolling back and forth. Remember that I forget what that's called, you know, the wooden box with the labyrinth in it that you manipulate the ball to go to the center. To see the puzzle box, the ball rolling back and forth until you make your way to the middle. That's actually where the pressure begins. Mother Nature under pressure to produce diamonds, which is also 2 amans, or 2 almond eyes, 2 worlds. And the diamond card was the first card out yesterday. Separated while getting screwed, right? Not wanting each other to feel that pressure. To start fresh with 2 new yous, 2 worlds, with forgiveness. The revelation of lay, and shun, to recreate the angels, or the ones who gel, as the tiger lioness, the Tion, Tion, tied together in one totem, the backpack, right? Toting the Om and the here. The backpack of the totem who really like spending time together. Again, right, out of time and space. The sun's ray performs to reveal another layer with the map of intent and the feminine ego, K, the energy of light and the energy of 1,000 suns, the guiding light of live and let die, the uncola nut, and sealing the caboose. So seal was coming up. Of course, seal wasn't the uncola nut, but that's the reference I was getting for this message here. The sealing of the caboose, right? Sealing the end, the butt, the uncola nut. All right, so we have the energy of alignment of the energy of 1,000 suns, right? Crowning to alignment, to enlightenment, with the guiding light of live and let die. Of course, live and let live, but there's a specific message here of live and let die because we're not really dying. We're crossing over without dying. The uncola nut. So instead of cola being uncola, so undoing that energy and sealing the caboose. So then we get to the read on the table here. And this was done, we should look at the right one. Yeah. So this was done the evening of the 5th, as the SIRIAN deck was cut and dealt at 425, which is the Emperor and the Knight of Wands. And then I finished clarifying at 436, which is the Emperor and the Atlas energy of the Ten of Wands. The major arcana was just the guidance card, which is the Hierophant. And before the read, Indigo came up, which is the Magician. But it's like a little boy with a big diamond. And then after the read is the Chariot and Abundance, which is the Empress. With 3 swords, 2 wands, 4 cups, and 1 pentacle. And the King of Cups was the only main character in the read. Before the read was the Queen of Cups with the Page of Swords, and after the read was the Knight of Swords with the Page of Wands. So these are like messages between the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups. The numbers, we had triple sixes and double 4s and 5s. So there's that energy of the 4, 5, 6, as opposed to going from 3D to 5D. The twins were already in the higher energies, going from the 44 to the 666 here, literally, which is the 18 of the moon energy and romance. The 55 of the Excalibur, the Ace of Swords, and the 44 of Hercules, 4 of Cups. Her harvest and the truth of Excalibur, as we were told that the sword is out and we're healing the wound of 666 and making it right again, of romance, of family, right? 6 is the lovers, the divine lovers, the spiral. The 66 is the Queen of Pentacles and the Golden Gates. The 666 is 18. It's of romance, now that the moon has been cleared out. And then we have the 10 as well being significant here as destiny and into that next cycle of expansion. The 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pick up sticks. We have the 23 of the King of Wands, the 34 of the 8 of Wands, the 5, 6 of the 2 of Swords, the 67 of the 9 of Pentacles, 78 in a lesser sense of that 10 of Pentacles, right, heaven on earth, and then the 8, 10 of 0 supporting the 81 of the end of karma around the world. And again, that 81 days for the light to get here, right? So creating the earth in a week, grounding, integrating for a week, and then 80 days around the world for that light to get here +1, perhaps taking someone with you. So we have the, or around the universe as opposed to around the world, right? Because here we can call each other. The code line here was all about the number 105, which is also 6. The energy of saying and seeing Sophia. The energy of water to follow and her heart. 1 of 2 stone-breaking plants. The digamma IV energy of high vibe guides, and the 5 of Cups of woeful thoughts, the energy of perhaps writing an essay or essaying something in a sudden event or a sudden need to assess something, a sealed leap or heart here, a leap of heart, one of two or half new and multicolored, reflecting creation, with the Hierophant or Taurus destined to grieve, howl, or woof, or have sad thoughts. Perhaps a self-addressed stamped envelope here, sealed with a kiss, or sealed with 4. In front of or under the influence. Perhaps somebody was drunk when they sent a letter. Perhaps full with partial guidance, destined here, of grief or good grief, Charlie Brown, sad dog, or perhaps a loss of a dog. I'm so sorry if somebody lost their puppy. And of course, Snoopy's coming up here. So Snoop Dogg could be coming up here. Good grief, Charlie Brown, and sad Snoop, as the dogs are barking outside, and Teddy was looking up to see what's up. So sassy sine wave with 4, half, and 4, 5 plus 10. Guidance, grief, and woof thoughts or doggy thoughts or woeful thoughts here. To see the wolf pack here, the large pack of wolves, that could be a pack of humans, unruly people as well, or a pair of unruly dogs without source energy, obviously, or rabid type of energy. One of 2 emperors and a Hierophant or foolish 5 and a guide, perhaps 10 sad ones, or a sassy pair of dogs on the hunt. One of 2 or half, and the 45, which is also the 5 of cups of grief, but also the old 45 record, which represented the eyeball, and also that sun symbol of the outer circle and the inner circle of the singularity, or the foolish 5 guiding 10, grieving pack mentality. Say you see 5 pairs of wolves out on the prowl, the wolf pack on attack without raise. Maybe they didn't get a raise, and so they were out protesting or drunk and mad. Half drunk, reflecting guidance of grief counselor, or pissed that they're not getting a raise, or a group of crazy or drunk people coming in for guidance, destined to regret doggy thoughts or victim mentality. So we have the 3 of Swords upright here, and beneath that 3 of Swords over here is the energy of the Queen of Cups reversed, the 7 of Pentacles upright, which in this deck, the SIRIAN Starseed deck, is this Divine Feminine's heart in the E tower. Indigo upright, the Page of Swords reversed, and the 4 of Pentacles upright. The Queen of Cups reversed and the Divine Feminine's heart in the E tower, reaping rewards and making magic, with no message from the Divine Masculine's heart in the Crystal Batcave. In separation, or Divine Masculine with a broken heart, at 524, the Hierophant, and the 24 of the Queen of Wands, and it's 234, shut the door on the clock. The Queen of Cups reversed with self-worth issues, or while the Indigo, Gemini or Virgo perhaps, Page of Swords reversed, is holding on to things. A separation, a split or slowdown, a twist of fate at home, in a heated exchange and or delays with the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups and the Lovers all upright here. A lot of affection between families, perhaps in a breakup where there's no affection between the 2 anymore, but perhaps they still have attachments with the families here. This also can reference heaven on earth with the ultimate emotional family and the divine lovers of Romeo and Juliet, the Montagues and the Capulets, the 6 and the 14 of the lovers and the higher love, the Hermit upright guiding the Knight of Wands to rush in and help a third party or bad influences, those with addiction or in exile or injured or ill. But the Knight of Wands is putting on the brakes. No more pumpkin patch gatherings, as the Knight of Wands guards from over the wall. This could be a neighbor peeping in too, with clear division of who's in charge or savior here. The little people kept outside, perhaps taking call, or hermit mentoring the Knight of Wands on how to be professional or keep their distance, physically and emotionally, from heartbreaking situations. You can't feel sorry for everyone, as Gemini, Virgo, and are upright and Libra reversed here. The Queen of Cups reversed, the Page of Swords reversed, with the Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine Magician embodiment. Heartbreaking story of lovers out in the cold. And again, West Side Story came up with somewhere in my Instagram post. So again, check it out. At 6:21 is the Lovers in the World, with the recent past of the Five of Swords reversed. The faceless juggler putting the Three of Swords down to collect on peace of mind after slaving and doing overtime for a long, long time. And the Queen of Swords reversed, released to the Empress reversed, who may be uncomfortable about this, or releasing in two different women. This could be someone releasing two different women, one younger, one older, and the Empress reversed may be very uncomfortable, not being able to walk away, or it's out of her hands. And now I'm getting Michael Jackson's. It's out of my hands. Oh, she's out, right? She's out of my life. So you can listen to that song if you'd like to. The foundation of the King of Cups upright, the Queen of Pentacles upright, perhaps with Cancer in their chart, or at the new moon, or after the full moon, getting over any loss or regret to come full circle with the King of Cups upright, or after the Queen of Pentacles, focused on getting Pisces up and out, and then dealing with the King of Cups upright and his broken heart, and our home life. The central energy of the Six of Wands reversed, of failure and neediness, of bad reputation, or under the radar defenselessness, to the Knight of Pentacles upright, helping to awaken the Magician to the Six of Cups innocence of love. There could be a divorce here with both families involved, as the Four of Wands split with the Ten of Pentacles and Ten of Cups upright, both of them, perhaps siding with a lover or Gemini, as a Divine Masculine is disappointed or feeling left out, or feels divided from the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Cups, and Pisces, a neighbor or the world, as the Knight of Pentacles could be defenseless to emotions and attacks of the Empress reversed, and offering their loyalty to rise up and manifest pure, innocent love. The challenge being here, the lack of guidance or a divorce, a break, alternative spirituality, with the Fool reversed, perhaps embarrassed by the Knight of Cups offering love to the Knight of Swords reversed, not yet announcing their breakup or distance with the Wounded Warrior and their pride. With Taurus, Aries, Saggy, and Pisces or Capricorn reversed, but Aquarius upright here, now crowning is the Six of Pentacles reversed, of not sharing, shortcomings or failures, or a bad reputation here, with full exposure of a divorce without choice, but perhaps unfair, as the Page of Swords reversed in a losing battle with the Queen of Cups reversed, perhaps to the death or separation, or perhaps cheating, dependence, spending, PTSD, and looting, and then back to the daily grind, entertaining, the juggling act, the performing, at 6:38 to 39, which is the Lovers of the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups, of Leo upright, kids, pets, Taurus reversed, and Scorpio upright. And soon here's the Ten of Cups upright with the King of Cups upright and the King of Pentacles reversed, as the King of Cups could be Pisces, have Pisces here in their chart, as the King of Pentacles reversed with Capricorn in their chart. Or perhaps they're one and the same person, emotionally sound but ungrounded, or with financial issues, or greedy, or just ungrounded, and grounding and integrating being ignored by temptation, addiction, Capricorn, or the King of Swords reversed, or not enough room for 3 to 4 kings in the Ten of Cups family here, as the King of Swords reversed is perhaps weakened with the King of Wands upright. The King of Swords reversed may be mad. One of them is weak, right? But the King of Swords is reversed. The King of Wands is upright, but he's without sleep, or trying to end the nightmare. Or the King of Swords reversed and the King of Wands upright may be battling over a pet, a child, or Leo, someone with Leo in their chart, or during Leo's season now, or battling over egos. As the Twin Flames, Four of Wands, and the King of Cups upright, in union with the Six of Cups, whether that's you and your twin, soulmates, or children, but that innocent love. Frustrated with Justice, Judge, or Libra upright, and the Page of Wands, who's uninspired, or inspired rather, to play hardball or withhold from Aquarius or Star, or saving for their dream and losing patience at the workplace, or Sagittarius reverse holding the workplace over Libra's head. As Libra Aquarius is upright and Saggy is reversed, the King of Cups is home with the kids and no help from the King of Pentacles reversed or the King of Swords reversed, and the King of Wands, perhaps a Leo, with his own issues to get over. Around the twins are how they're seen as the Six of Cups upright, after failure to share presence or be present, clinging to stuff, or keeping cards close to their chest about the Page of Pentacles reversed, needing help, or perhaps without a car, or perhaps someone who got in a car accident. The block here is the Five of Cups reversed, who's over it, or getting over it is the block, as the King of Wands is surrounded with those who are weak and suffering in silence, or a sister and stress. Perhaps the Two of Swords reversed with new information but off balance, satisfied now the worst is over, or about bliss, pain, or relief. The Page of Cups reversed decided to move in with the Queen of Wands reversed, offering love, or rejected that offer of the Queen of Wands reversed, feeling unworthy, or that their secret's out, with a lack of integrity or secret passion with options, and the Emperor suddenly realizing this. Or the Queen of Wands is reversed with the High Priestess reversed and don't understand the value of time, money, or effort, like kids in a candy store, and can't have just one option. Perhaps the Emperor is about to blow, but containing himself, as the Page of Cups could be a shy and rejected or entitled child, or perhaps just a baby crying and choosing peace away from the Queen of Wands reversed. Perhaps suspicious of why the Queen of Wands is all of a sudden so loving. Perhaps the Emperor upright is seeing these people as spoiled, or tells them all to leave. As the Knight of Swords reversed is lashing out at the Page of Wands about the Empress's car or issues with it, or the Emperor upright and the Empress reversed are with the Page of Cups reversed, the Queen of Wands reversed, and the Knight of Swords reversed. What a motley crew. Perhaps there's constant arguing there. Perhaps the Page of Wands and the Emperor are staying out of it, as the Page of Wands is entertained by their fighting, which is typical, right, of family, and the Emperor looks annoyed, but he's upright. The Queen of Cups reversed, perhaps with Pisces in their chart, is assessing savings or worth of Indigo Page of Swords reversed, refusing to come out of their cave. That could be a child, right, who's always in their room on the computer or something like that, or needing to mend a heart or a disappointment, with the King of Cups upright at home and the Six of Cups upright after the war within, regarding a failure or failure to launch, the challenge being divorce or no guidance, or break from a contract, religion, or the institution, or Taurus reversed, with the Ten of Cups upright over it already, with unfair news of the Knight of Swords reversed arguing with the Page of Wands, expecting women to kiss their feet, and perhaps expecting their mother to give up their car, or perhaps they're just stuck with them. As the Divine Masculine at 8:10, which, by the way, I woke up at 10:08 this morning, which is that Chi energy, C-H-A-I, and 8:10 of Lionsgate, and then the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune or Destiny, the Divine Masculine in the Crystal Batcave with a broken heart or disappointment or in separation, and again reverse engineering coming up here. No longer juggling 3 and saving 2 for later, and there's that energy of 3 and 2 of the journey, but also the King of Wands, 23. The King of Cups is needy for attention, but he's upright there. Maybe he feels like a failure, or he wants to do things under the radar, not be seen, as challenged by divorce or lack of guidance, and the inequity of the Four of Wands home and the Ten of Cups family, perhaps homes and the Six of Cups sweethearts, getting over loss or regret, with new information or clarity to move to the King or the Knight of Swords reversed, who's lashing out with the Page of Wands, or a heated exchange and holding their tongue, waiting for the Empress to return, perhaps to break up, break down, break in, out, or through, with the Empress reversed away, right? So when the cat's away, the mouse will play. Since she's away, someone might want to break in or break out or break up, right, while they're not there. Since she's unable to chase after them if she's not there, could be a disappointing loss that seems unfair, challenged by a lack of commitment of families coming together. As the King of Cups, the Ten of Cups, and the Six of Cups are all upright and beautiful, perhaps the King of Cups spoils his kids, but the Divine Masculine is not really one of them, and this could be a bone of contention for the Divine Masculine, that he was never treated the same as the others. With Libra and taking that frustration or hostilities or turning that wand around and using it to inspire their dreams, learning how to transmute energy or knowing how to do it. This Cups family can also represent the in-laws they get along with, but he's not really the family, right? He's not their family. Also could be someone who's been adopted who now sees themselves as not really part of the family or just the black sheep of the family. As the King of Cups is upright with the King of Wands upright on either end, dealing with the King of Pentacles and the King of Swords both reversed, or their own alter egos. Men competing and women and children all unhappy, stuck with the Emperor upright and the Empress reversed. All right, so there's definitely some masculine rivalry here, whether it's brothers or partners or whatever it is for you. It could be cousins, people in the family. The Queen of Cups reversed, Divine Feminine, could be proposing or sadly waiting for a proposal and for the Magician's reply, but perhaps there's none. Just in the cave with a broken heart, feeling of failure and challenged by divorce. Perhaps healing by getting over it with unfair news from the Four of Wands and the Ten of Cups and Six of Cups family energies here. Deciding to hold back delivery and going back and forth with the Page of Wands and the Page of Wands upright, the Empress reversed, who may be immobile, and that could be a pregnant person or someone who just delivered a child, or without transportation, and there could be issues in getting, selling, or buying a house as well here. At 827 here, which is the Strength card and the Ace of Wands. And 27 is also that Queen's Gambit or Vesica Pisces energy at 247, which is the Divine Feminine. And that 4 to 7 Heart to Crown energy, it's just 2:11:22 on the clock, which is that feminine energy again of alignment, of justice, and the 22 of the Fool, of an open heart and a leap of faith. So let's pull, and I'm going to pull another Fortune's Oracle card, and we'll close up here. It's now, I just looked again, it's 2:11:44. So there's that 44 of Hercules and her harvest. And the alignment of that, 1144, which happens to be my soul number 3811 and life lesson number 448. So it's just referencing you as divine feminines. And it just turned 02/12/02. There's a lot of alignment right there with Lionsgate today here. All right, so we have these two coming up here. We have transformation of breaking the chains. But then there's this energy also, I was seeing it in a different way this week, of the birds then rebuilding the bridge, right? Transmuting the old and creating the new. Reaching out for the power and strength to make changes, enrich your life, and become the person that you want to be. With 32 is the journey, and there's that 32/23 energy as well. And then the judgment. Again, we talked about judgment. And the 14 of that higher love. You must be in that higher love energy in neutrality to sit in judgment. As the book, remember, the heart squared looks like a book open to magic here. Soul searching will bring inner peace to many areas of your life. Of where is it that you are sitting in judgment? And then we have the 26, which the Page of Wands came up a lot in this read, of the plane, of taking off to other planes here. The journey indicated either physically or metaphorically, your life will become more full. This energy of excitement here. Perhaps someone's taking a trip here. And remembering to not judge others who are different than you. And again, we're taking off to remove the thorny crown. And this is like a journey to the Olympics here. And the 31, which is that remembering to 1, 2, 3 leap to 4 before going to 1, which is the heartbeat, right? The evening out, the leaping up to the 4 and down to start again, and then evening out again at the 3 and the 2. So then we have the flowers and the underlying energy, again, of alignment, justice, truth, and balance, the flower of life, the crowning of the flowering, right, healing the root to flower the crown, and then we have the snake of Hydra coming up with the 28 of the twin flames as well. The two snakes back and forth between each other, entwined, okay, in healing of the crown, right? The Kundalini rising to heal the crown. And here's that boomerang energy again of the moon, the romance of the 18, but also 21's coming up here with the earth and the moon, the mother and the daughter energy, and the boomerang of the pie energy sharing equally between the mother and the daughter. The sudden fireworks Oh, here too is that here's this Lionsgate energy, right, of the sun and Sirius.